Hello everyone, my name is AP the Weird One, and welcome back to more Kamen Rider Zeztz. This time, episode 6, Imprisoned. Before we begin the episode, I really want to talk about Tokusatsu, the channel, who's been doing who's been putting up the live streams, the episodes for this series. They've been doing a fantastic job. I wish they were doing the episodes for Digimon Beat Break. They're able to get the episodes like an hour, essentially an hour after, an hour and a half, or so it seems like, after the episodes aired. So they've done a really good job with the subtitling and everything, and they've made the episodes readily available. Like this episode's came out like 2 days earlier than expected. Like they usually, the episodes don't come fully available on YouTube until Wednesday, but today it's happened on Monday, which is the day I'm recording. So I really gotta thank them. My editing software was being a little bit buggy, so I appreciate them having an early review. Now, what I really like about this episode is that it definitely subverts expectations. It subverts certain expectations. But there are a couple, I would say there's like one glaring problem. There's some things that I'm hoping don't necessarily continue or may change up a little bit. But we'll get into that shortly. So one of the ways they kind of subvert expectations in this series is that it's not very clear who the dreamer is at first, especially when you learn that Nem is a real person. Now, it may seem obvious that it is, but given this day and age of AI, and I do think AI does play into it, because I really do want to talk about the preview at the very end, which I think is a little bit more fascinating and definitely more to kind of talk about. But I think the fact that they kind of held back a little bit, Baku, he didn't think the president Odigi, he didn't think he was the actual dreamer first because he didn't remember him, he just kind of didn't remember him being in his dream or anything. Maybe he didn't remember the dream very well. So they definitely did that, and they're going to do it a little bit again later on with Next, our main villain, who decides to confront the main protagonist himself. And I've actually got some interesting questions about him as well, what we're going to. But yeah, so we got excited for a prison, and it's not as simple as it may be. But let's go on. So this part, I was a little bit shocked at how they handled this problem. So they see this whole bunch of shredder blades, these big chainsaw, not chainsaw, but big saw-like weapons, and then it's got to the corridor. I thought, because he was going to use impact, I thought he was going to smash them, but instead he jumps through it like a perfect time, like super speed. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I didn't get the impression that impact did that, but then again, I'm like, okay, it just seemed a little too clean. I think I would rather have them smash the blades instead. It made it a little bit more believable. I just never got the impact could go super speed, but just the perfect timing with people and everything. It just, I guess it's a dream world. Yes, you can. It's a possibility, but I would have liked if it was just smashing. It just made more sense for impact. But then we have this moment. So after they get to the saws, they decide to take a break. This pissed me off. Listen. So I gotta show the context. So he wakes up. He sees the window open. Now that obviously means that the police officer is there, but these guys are assholes. Why would you leave the window open? What if it's a cold day, or it's a really hot morning or something? This would piss me off. And I believe that cops would actually do this. Like they would be like, because they're all in authority. I'm like, you expect us to actually close the window? I like this moment. It just pissed me off that they did this. So I'm like, you rotten bastards. Oh, what the hell's wrong with you? You have no decency. But moving on, it's just a fun moment to talk about. So I was watching the live stream. This goes by very quickly. These agent tips. So, but we got one smile of confidence. This is something I also appreciate, the fact that they translated this. But yeah, spy confidence lead to clear judgment. I think this is something. No, maybe something he wrote. But gathering information is key to success. Don't neglect your muscles. Daily efforts builds a strong mind. The purpose of a handkerchief is to wipe away ladies' tears and acts elegant to become bold. So good advice. This happened way too fast in the live stream. I maybe wish they could have slowed down a little bit, but hey, we got the full video so we can read it. So we come here. This is now when he shows the picture of these two, and they're basically doing a they're trying to figure out the database who these people are, who the president and what we learned is his ex-wife. This part kind of bugged me for a couple of different reasons. First off, Ogati is like some kind of president. He's a company, so researching his face should have real results, especially given we have AI searches and everything. On top of that, we find out later that there was an accident, and it leads to, we see that in the previews that Nem is injured. She's hospitalized. Something like this would have got a police investigation. The face of those photos probably would have been taken. This part, I don't believe. That's the thing that kind of bugs me, especially when we learn later on. Now, maybe there's a reason why it's not searched. It's not searched. Maybe they kept it privatized or something. But I mean, these two are police officers. They should be able to look this guy up easily. I don't they would have realized this guy's the president of a company, because he's like, well, ask my sister about it, and she knows. That's the thing I hope. Even carrying the previous episode, she's the go-to to figure out where certain things are. I hope this doesn't be. It probably is going to be a running gag, but maybe it's just not used less and less. This guy's observation, I will talk about in a sec, but this part, but this didn't seem very believable. There's an instance someone's got hospitalized. This guy's a famous president. Nem's a big name person. This to me should have been known. I don't buy. This is suspension of disbelief. I mean, yes, it's a fictional show and everything, but this didn't sit well with me. That's probably my only biggest complaint with this, is that their research didn't, their database didn't reveal who this guy is. I'm like, But yeah, we eventually, so here we get the he talks to this guy. And this guy's the observation. The trauma of divorce, has dreamed of a happy family. I'm going to say this. I don't think he's completely wrong. What we've seen going forward after this scene, I don't think he's completely wrong, just maybe slightly skewed. You don't have the full picture, but you're really close. So I do, hindsight looking back, I'm like, he's not completely wrong. I mean, the divorce isn't the reason, but I buy this. Also, going back to the research, we know that Nem's a real person. That means her record should have been hospitalized. All right, but I dragged along enough. So I like that his observation wasn't completely wrong. I'm curious going forward how the truth. The first time around I wasn't super paying attention, but no, I was sort of. It was a little bit eye off the mark, but he's getting better. I think he's gonna have a perfect victory. But continuing on. So I want to talk about this scene. So he's getting all charged up to go to sleep, and I just think this scene was funny. I'm like, dude, you were stressing yourself out about sleeping. I'm like, if this was me, I would not be able to fall asleep. If you I gotta sleep. I've been there. I was doing the live stream for I think the live stream battle with for Digimon, when it was the Shumon deck versus the Terramon deck. I couldn't fall asleep. I took drugs and everything. I couldn't force myself to sleep quick enough. So I just found the scene funny, and the fact that he's able to fall asleep instantly is another hilarious. I would not have been able to do this, but that's just that's not me complaining. I just find the scene funny is all. But then we get to the actual fight. So this is another moment I want to talk about. So he's fighting the nightmare, so to speak, before. So it does seem like there's going to be a bit of a theme for each main form, impact, stream. They're going to each have their own auxiliary capsims, and they're going to reflect the colors, but maybe have a different pattern. This is stream. This is stream, and you can tell by the back that it's It's different. And when he uses it's machinery. This one's machinery. This has a different. This doesn't. It has a gray black, so it's different design. So I suspect that each color, each capsule, each auxiliary will have the main core color, but maybe just slightly different. I'm curious of what's going to be for the ultimate forms, like what auxiliaries and the colors. So far, we look like we're kind of copying Kuga. I have not kept back up the series, but Kuga started off with red, well, technically white, then went to blue, and we see green and purple. So I'm not that I'm complaining or anything. I'm curious what the next like his super is gonna be looking like, and like what his if he's gonna have auxiliaries with him. Very cool. I like the machinery aspect. It's fun battle, but I know this is. I think they're trying to connect it because when he gets his sword weapon, his main weapon, he instantly turns it to gun, like how for Stream is. Stream was blue Stream was also blue, so I think that's how they're kind of connecting. Like, yeah, these are just part of each other. But this was a kind of fun fight. I liked the dismantling. Then of course the main villain comes up, and he says a couple of different things that are worth discussing. He says, "What dreams leave in reality is the slice." He's trying to. I want to talk a little bit more about Nexus' character at the very end, but who he is in general. So he leaves it the slightest trace. So the answers to why people are dreaming is not necessarily going to be in the dreams. You're going to have to look elsewhere. And then, and he's like, those who seek only in truth will never seek in dreams will never fight the truth. And that kind of hints to the main character. Oh, there's that symbol in real life. So he's definitely pointing out the more obvious that real life is going to give the answer to the dreams, and that dreams are not going to always have the same have the clues. I will say next up close is kind of ugly. Like, it's not the most flattering shots of him. I'm not saying that's necessarily the factor. Maybe it could be due to the makeup, whatever. But I like his introduction. With his introduction, they definitely play out the expectations, server expectations, because he's able to make use of the lucid dream ability, and he's able to reconstruct the monster and then create more of them. And then after he says this line, that's when he realizes that the prison is the actual nightmare, which is this big giant thing, yokai-looking creature. I feel like I've seen this yokai somewhere. Now, the most obvious comparison for me, at least, is the Sephirothmon from Digimon Frontier. That's the most obvious connection for me. But I feel like I've seen this seems like a very common yokai. Kind of looks like a common frog-like creature. But I feel like I've seen, or it's like a tadpole. But I feel like I've seen this somewhere, like something similar. Regardless, this thing actually looks really cool. I don't know if we're gonna have a full-on kaiju fight, but regardless, I give credit where I do. It looks cool. It's a little CG, but it works. It's a little. I like it, to say the least. And I think that's about it. But anyway, so once this gets revealed, and then the Ogati realizes that, he wants to stay in this prison forever with Nem, because we learned there's an incident and everything. He goes back into prison. That's essentially, he goes into the upper floors. And I'll stay here. Or at least he wants to, at least. Now, I want to talk about Next. Next seems like, I got the impression that he was some sort of demigod or some kind of godlike being of sorts. And it seems based off this episode, the reason he's doing these things to make dreams, make secrets become reality, fulfill people's, I guess, dreams, or their hidden secrets, what they truly desire, fulfill their heart's wishes, essentially. Of sorts, because the other one's crashing, and then you also the bomber. The bombing one makes sense. The crashing one, that one I'm not sure. This one I get makes sense, but I guess he wants to make dreams. He wants to fulfill dreams, the dreamer's wishes, what they truly have deep down their subconscious, or kind of make them reality. I think that's what I'm gathering about this guy. And of course, going to make their world entirely into chaos is the ultimate goal. But with the preview, because we see that Nem has been hospitalized for approximately 4 years or so, it begs the question who Next is. Is he a real person in real life? Is he like a demigod? Is he in a similar situation? How did Nem get her abilities to be able to travel between dreams and everything? I definitely think that we're gonna get the full picture in the next episode. But yeah, next leaves something to be ambiguous, like what he truly is. Now, we kind of see him kind of floating around society. It seems like he's not human, like he's not observable by the human eye. But maybe maybe his powers, like his dreamlike powers, are more of an extension. Like he can dream himself being in reality. I'm not 100% sure. I like this little bit of mystery, seeing what's going on. I do, and I do appreciate what they're setting up to be anyway. But overall, in this episode, because I'm rambling long enough, I like this episode. I just think that the preview just was a lot more interesting. And I have my quirks with them not being able to figure out who this person was early on with the research database. But yeah, cool episode. I'm looking forward to the next one. I do think this, because of the preview and everything, this works better as if you watch it back to back. And because how Tokusatsu Studios, the Tokusatsu channel, has done it where they live stream it, like they'll live stream the previous episode beforehand, and then like maybe you didn't have time during the week, and then you could watch them back to back. This case feels like you should watch it that way. Like you watch episode 6 and then you watch episode 7 right away afterwards. It would flow a little bit better, and that kind of gave out that vibe. But anyway, I've rambled long enough. Hopefully you have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time for episode 7. I'll try maybe to have that on Monday, maybe. Well, no, we might have to do it on Tuesday, but we'll see. Anyway, have a great rest of your Tuesday and the rest of your week.